Hi. Thank you. As she said, my name is Matthew, and I'm the cartoonist and creator of The Oatmeal. As many of you know, I am not a man of science. I am a man of God. But I'm not going to talk about that today. Instead, I'm going to fix some problems. I am not a man of big science. I am not educated. I'm a man of pragmatic solutions to pragmatic problems. Some of these are very big, and some of these are very, very small. Some of these are middle size. The first of these problems is babies. They're a problem. Particularly the way we store babies, which is in one of these. It's open air. The baby is vulnerable to bats, tornadoes, etc. Babies are loud. They're incredibly loud. And we all suffer needlessly for their incredible loudness. This is a terrible waste of potential energy. This baby storage device is immobile, cannot move. And lastly, babies are highly vulnerable to lightning strikes. Do you know how many babies die in this country every year from lightning strikes? I don't know, but I think tens of thousands of babies. So I have a solution to this problem. You have a soundproof dome that you put the baby inside. Can't hear the baby. Baby shrieks and wails are recorded on an internal microphone and then redisplayed on a growing red light in front of the baby storage unit. Furthermore, babies do not contribute. Stick them on a Roomba and now they do. You got a poop pouch, and it also acts as a Faraday cage to helpfully eliminate the lightning problem with babies. Put some cup holders on there. And last but not least, my personal favorite, throw a cat toy on it. The result, happy cat, happy parents, and last but not least, happy babies. Alarm clocks are also a problem, particularly the snooze button on an alarm clock. It accomplishes nothing. You press the button and you get 9 minutes of crappy sleep that doesn't help you in any way, but it sits there staring you in the face every morning and you press it. So I have two solutions to this problem. Solution number one is you attach a collar to your cat, which is wirelessly connected to the snooze button, and when you press that snooze button, it emits a mild electric shock to your kitty cat. The end result being that when your alarm clock goes off, your cat starts beating the shit out of you. And over time, you won't even need the collar anymore. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, kitties are sweet. I like kitties. You're a jerk. Don't hurt kitties. And you're probably right. So I have solution number two, which is you got an alarm clock, and this alarm clock, you have to set it up first. And you input some data. You tell it when you were born, you're a smoker, are you a drinker, family history, cancer, heart disease, so on and so forth. And what it does is, in the morning when you hit the snooze button, it, in the most delicate of whispers, tells you statistically how long it will be until you die. You have 350,000 hours, 12 minutes, 4 seconds till you're dead and gone and forgotten and full of worms. That's a solution. Toilets are a problem in this world of ours. You know the expression, like, I almost peed my pants? And then, versus the expression, I almost pooped my pants. And you say it, in all sorts of situations, like that joke is funny, I almost pissed my pants. I was thinking about it, and I have never even come close to almost peeing my pants. Never. It doesn't even happen, but we say it. And I know I'm male, so we have kind of more accessibility to bathrooms and so on and so forth. But when it comes to almost shitting my pants, it's like 3 times a week. It's like a recurring problem that I have. And you do it in one of these typically. You put it in a porta potty, which, we have things like the Hubble Space Telescope. We have, we landed a probe on a comet. We have Snapchat. We have Froyo. We have all these inventions. And yet, this is essentially a bucket of crap in a field which you sit on. That's all it is. That's it. That's the culmination of human ingenuity right there. It's a performance art, really, when you get in those things. So there's always a line, right? There's always a line. And, if it normally takes you a minute to go, if there's like 5 people in line, then you have to go at 5 times the speed, meaning you have to go in like 12 seconds. And if you plot that data on the splishy splash line graph, you'll see that the chances of water hitting you is directly proportional to the feces velocity. So it's a nightmare. Like, have you ever looked in there before? You ever looked down in it? Of course you have. Everybody does. It's the first thing you do. You look down there. You can't help it. It's like making eye contact with the devil. Scary, I have a solution to this problem, however. When Well, yeah, and public restrooms kind of the same deal. It's a nightmare. It's funny because you go into these things and it's terrible and awful, and then they have these sheets, which are just a joke, the sanitary sheet. My favorite thing is when you take the sanitary sheet and it's an automated flush, and it keeps sucking it down before you can sit down. So you're trying to sit before it takes the sheet away. It's like playing musical chairs with Skynet. I have a solution, however. I call it Uber Shits. Yeah. I don't have to explain it. Basically, you have an app, you call a car, picks you up, and if it's a real emergency, they just sound the siren and take you where you need to go. To a nice bathroom. Maybe somebody's Airbnb. You can go in there, make it a, kind of a partnership. Instead of a sad, miserable, unsanitary, scary experience, it will be kind of a party. Problem solved. Microwaves are also a problem. I have a very, very old microwave, and it has two primary things that are wrong with it. Number one, the countdown timer. What it does is it counts down, and when it gets to the end of its timer, it beeps. And I don't like the beep. I don't want to hear the beep. I can't handle the beep. I have to stop it. So rather than chopping vegetables or doing something in the kitchen, the last minute I'm spent just staring at the goddamn timer, waiting to hit the button and stop it. My solution, silent mode on your microwave. Again, this is not big science. This is small science. This is pragmatic science. This is oatmeal science. Problem number one. Problem number two, the buttons. So I don't understand what it is about the buttons on my microwave, but it's like a time capsule into the Cold War, what we ate then, right? Like, what did you eat during the Cuban Missile Crisis? That's what's on your microwave. Like, oh, I'll go for a casserole tonight. Like, who eats this stuff? And furthermore, like, my favorite's the roast button. Who makes a roast in the goddamn microwave? It makes no sense. I don't need these buttons. And I have a very elegant solution to this problem, and I call it the shit yeah I'm hungry button. It's just minute plus. Boop, 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 minute plus. That's all it is. And then open the door. Problem solved. Microwave revolutionized. Genders are a problem. This is a big one. I'm sure you know how this works. A man groans in the dark for a couple minutes, and a woman gets pregnant. And she kind of gets the shitty end of that whole deal for the most part. I mean, you have let's call it a solid 3.5 minutes of fun, and then the women have 9 months of carrying this shrieking amniotic pig goblin inside themselves. It's not fair. Not fair at all. But you know what is fair? Flatworms are fair. How flatworm biology works, and I say we through gene therapy or something, we mimic flatworm biology and the biology of the human being. How flatworm biology works is all flatworms are born as hermaphrodites, and they swim around the ocean as hermaphrodites, and they all, despite being hermaphrodites, are born with two penises. One of those penises is a sword penis used for stabbing, and the other one is just a penis for normal penis things. And how it works is when they encounter each other, they engage in what's called penis fencing, which is exactly what it sounds like. They fight. And whoever gets stabbed with the sword penis first, they stab him, and then they use the other penis, and they get him pregnant. Whoever that is becomes the female and carries it to term and loses. That's fair. That's better. That's where gender equality needs to go in this world of ours. The last one is literally a gigantic problem. It's Andromeda. It's a galaxy. It's the closest galaxy to our own Milky Way. And it's bigger than our galaxy, but less interesting. Like, there's less stuff blowing up and less, like, violence and free healthcare. It's sort of the Canada of galaxies is what the astrophysicists call it. The problem with Andromeda is it's actually on a collision course with our own Milky Way galaxy. In about 4 billion years, Andromeda is going to merge with the Milky Way, which is not as cataclysmic as it sounds. Most of the stars are so far apart they would never actually touch. Our own solar system might actually be kind of unaffected. Obviously, the night sky would change pretty dramatically, but for the most part, we'd be fine. The problem that I have with this whole scenario is astrophysicists have come up with a name for the new galaxy, and they're naming it Milkomeda, which I hate that name. I don't know what it is. I hate it. I read it as Milko Media, as some crappy startup that like delivers dairy to your house via a smartphone. I hate it. It's rotten. It's terrible. I don't like the name. I have a solution to this problem. I mean, we're talking about like, the biggest rebranding possibility in 4 billion years, and we're going with Milkomeda. It's a nightmare. So my solution to this terrible problem involves Jupiter. What we do is we take Jupiter and we throw it into the sun, And so Jupiter is composed mostly of hydrogen and helium, and the sun, coincidentally, burns hydrogen and helium. So there are two outcomes to this brilliant plan of mine, and as an esteemed member of the astrophysics community, of which I am not, I think this will work. We throw it in, and scenario one is our sun is dying as well. In about 4 billion years, actually, our sun is going to run out of fuel, slowly expand, and kill us all. So my solution is if we throw Jupiter in there, we can reignite it for a short while and buy ourselves some time so we can come up with a cooler name. I was just messing around for like 5 minutes, and I already have a bunch of names. The Freedom Galaxy, Birthplace of Jesus, Abraham Lincoln and Ranch Dressing, Milky Way 2, and my personal favorite, shit, yeah, our galaxy is huge now. That's from 5 minutes of work. Imagine we had another billion years to think about this. We could have a really good name for this galaxy. That's outcome number one. Outcome number two of throwing Jupiter into the sun, because this is not an exact science, is it would actually produce a coronal mass ejection from the ignition of Jupiter, a big one. And this which is basically a solar flare, this would turn that beautiful pale blue dot of ours into a horrible, agonizing ball of fire. And it would kill everything and everyone you've ever loved. Why is this a solution? Because that is still better than Andromeda. Now, I presented you with my problems. I've delivered the solutions. Thank you very much. Praise Jibbers. Thank you.